Welcome to At the Table with Dr. Jessica B., where stories meet insight and perspective shapes purpose, because you were born on purpose for a purpose.
Hello and welcome to At the Table with Dr. Jessica B. I'm your gracious host. We want to continue our conversation that we had with Councilman Keith Graves on last week. It was so amazing. I invited him back. I said, you got to stick around. We got to continue this conversation because there's so much depth to this man, and half an hour just wasn't going to do it. So when you come back from watching this little short segment, you're going to meet again. For those who are just tuning in, the first time it's going to be none other than Councilman Keith Graves. We'll be right back.
At Deborah's Place, we care for the abused. The battered. The homeless. The fatherless. And those incarcerated. We care for our community.
From our famous mac and cheese to perfectly seasoned greens, make his place your place. Soulful with a modern twist. Here, you're not just a customer. You're part of our family, sharing moments and memories. His Place Eatery. Come home to Sunday dinner any day of the week.
Welcome back again, everyone, to At the Table with Dr. Jessica B. Like I told you prior to going to commercial break, I have a very special guest. He was here before, but there's so much depth to him. There was just no way that I can get everything out that I wanted to talk about with Councilman Graves. So he has agreed to stick around. And thank you so much for that, Councilman Graves. Mm-hmm. I want to talk a little bit about your financial services, because you've been doing this for quite a while. And tell us a little bit about that. And then I want you to speak to how things have changed, and we're in definitely uncertain times right now, and what type of advice you can give to individuals. So tell us a little bit about your business.
Yeah, great. So I never saw myself being a licensed stockbroker. But the opportunity came, and I said, man, if they let me in this door, I'm gonna give it all I have.
So you have all of your
Series 7, and I have, and to be in leadership, you have to have some additional licenses. So I have those as well. It's a 9 and Series 10 and some other licenses. So it's a lot. But you know, I've been blessed through that journey, and 28 years later, I'm still licensed and I'm still in this industry. You know, and I consider it an honor to be able to share that knowledge that I picked up along the way, helping families and helping individuals with, you know, and I tell my team all the time, we're more than just providing financial advice, we're providing comfort. People are uneasy when it comes to money and investing, personal finance. So I thought, you know, I've heard kind of the same questions over the course of time as I interact with certain people. And so what I did about 7-8 years ago is I wrote a book, basically.
So you a published author too. You didn't put that in your bio. We need to know everything that's going on with you, brother.
Look, I'm just doing what is on my heart to do, and God blessed me with that vision. It's called Money Bag Mode, my 10 financial tips to help you secure your bag.
All right now,
it's really for younger individuals, because one of the things I heard most, Dr. Jessica, is I wish I'd learned about this when I was younger.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
and when I'm talking to 40 and 50 and 60-year-old people that have, you know, regrets about not starting younger, not asking the right questions younger. So I decided to write that book for that young individual starting the work world and getting jobs and having income. And what do? Do you buy appreciating assets that are going to help grow your wealth, or you buy depreciating assets because it's a hot item out there? So budgeting and some of those important things that prevent us from having the financial success. Just trying to create that wealth building mindset within our community. This is specifically for Black readers, young individuals that frequently say, we didn't have this conversation at our table. So I told that story. It's really my life journey as a stockbroker, but I told that story through the voice of a young Black 25-year-old stockbroker who had an eye-opening experience when she walked in and saw some of the balances of some of her clients and just curious, how did they build this kind of wealth? You know, we make money too. We have jobs, we go to college. We just have to have a wealth building mindset to really move that needle and build true generational wealth.
Yeah, I used to be an investment banker. Yes, I did. I did that.
See, you have so many talents.
Oh,
I'm learning.
I got tricked into that. I always tell people the story like I got tricked into that, but I'm so glad that I did. Got my life health accident.
Wow.
Then got Series 6, 7,
wow.
63, 69.
Those are some hard tests.
I didn't think it was hard. Maybe because I was on coffee. I was on some real high caffeine.
Well, you are a doctor, so you probably used to studying, used to doing things.
Doctor of business, not medical, because that's not me. But I do want to say, those are, in all seriousness, those are some hard licenses, right? I think I flunked the health, life, and accident. I think I flunked that like at least 13 times. But I also didn't put a lot of effort into it. I was one of the people, I'm going to study the day before and just hope and pray. And that's how I became. But anyway, doing that, people are trusting me with their money, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is their most valued asset.
Absolutely.
And I want to know, what are you saying to people during this time? The economy is not looking up. You know, a lot of people are worried. They're removing their money from the banks again. It's almost like recession. So what are you telling individuals? Like, what type of hope are you giving them?
So really, one of the things I really hope is that they are working with an investment professional. I mean, we do have a lot of online resources and YouTube, but it's not a hard.
ChatGPT. What's Chat say?
Chat ain't really the end all be all. I mean, especially when you have quick access to a licensed professional right at your bank, you know. And I tell them that if you're working with an investment professional, chances are they're going to talk about the importance of a particular strategy that's really worked for a lot of individuals, and that's diversification. Those diversified portfolios that you create based on your own risk tolerance, how much risk you want to take on, if you set it, we are setting those types of portfolios in anticipation of volatile markets. We set them for that purpose. So they're not, simply all your eggs in one basket and let's cross our fingers. It's ready for those challenging times, difficult presidents, difficult leadership, difficult economic situations that we see, all of our economic indicators not going our way. But over the course of time, those diversified portfolios have really stood strong for those investors who select them. I'm not suggesting that that's the only strategy, but I will say that most brokers will talk to their clients about that. And once you set that type of portfolio, you can spend time with your family, go play golf, or do what you do because you're ready for that volatility.
Well, let me say this, because during that time when I was number 2 in the state of Indiana. Yes, I was. I got to sometimes not know it, but I do want to say this though. The interest rates were different back then, and there was a little, but I still had more people coming in, withdrawing their money. They weren't my clients, but I did see and they would come in the bank and they would take all of their money out because they just did not have any faith in the system. So I know that was a really good answer that you gave. But I'm serious, like people are scared out of their mind. And I'm gonna be honest with you, as a former investment banker, me too. I'm just like, what do we need to do? Because I don't wanna keep losing my money that I've worked so hard for.
And you know, as you mentioned, we're bringing generations of money that's been, trusted it to you by your family to manage and to grow and to move it forward for the next generations. And we don't wanna find ourselves, because of volatile markets, not working with investment professionals, seeing our portfolios shrink in value. So it's really important. I can't overstate the importance of working with an investment professional because we understand that volatile times will come. Interest rate environment, we anticipate that. Maybe one of the most important things individuals that are truly worried today can do is think about their risk tolerance. Maybe their risk tolerance has changed, and that's based on those certain circumstances. At one point in life, you may say, hey, I'm aggressive. I want to swing for the fences.
Yeah.
And then at another point, you say, hey, I don't like this kind of potential for loss. So let's talk about a more conservative portfolio where we still have the opportunity
to. Conservative. Go ahead and speak that language. Because
still,
seriously, because I mean, I'm just thinking to myself, like, hold on, this is. And I used to have a high risk tolerance. I mean, because I just was young, crazy, you know. And I have to admit, I was crazy back then a little bit. You know, it's funny how you start doing the speed limit when you get older. You know?
Ain't that true? Ain't that true? Wow, you are absolutely right.
But I think that so how can people connect with you on that and start working with you if they're interested in, having those conversations? Or will you be willing to come and talk to a group of 25 individuals?
Absolutely.
I'm gonna put something together to watch.
I do a lot of financial literacy seminars.
You got a financial literacy school, man. Like, you the man.
No, I do a lot of education. But what I did about 6 years ago, Dr. Jessica, is I opened my own firm, USA First Financial. So USA First Financial is a registered investment advisory, and I tell you, I'm really proud of that because it's a heavy lift to get that to that point.
Yes.
I would say there's probably not 5 in the state of Indiana. So I'm really excited to be offering that service of investing, and I make it possible for my clients to get in with low balances. A lot of my competitors like Charles Schwab and Fidelity, you'll have to have big balances to even work with their brokers. That's not the case at USA First Financial. So I'm here to help be an on-ramp for the markets, for individuals and families who think that it's important. If they don't understand it, I'm here to educate and help them understand why it's important. It's a reason why we get a little snippet every night on the news of what's happening in the stock market. It's the place where wealth is built.
All right, now look, this man dropping his slogan. He not gave us a little education. He started talking the brokerage language. I was like, oh, okay. So he does, and because it's really gonna take education. That's the real truth about it. Yeah. And most people were comfortable with me, individuals like yourself, because we knew what we were talking about. We weren't just trying to throw them in. If I didn't, if I thought it was a great loss, great risk, I said, no, I would wait just a few months, just because it's not about your sale. You know what I mean? Yeah. I appreciate that about you. When we come back, we are going to continue our conversation with Councilman Keith Graves. There's a little bit more I want to talk to him on the community aspect, and now that he's dropped the bomb on us that he might be potentially leaving as councilman to further his aspirations, and he's growing, so I expect that. When we come back, you'll hear from none other than Councilman Keith Graves and myself as we continue this conversation at the table.
When it comes to caring for loved ones at home, trust a business that understands. At Jackie's Home Care PCS, we bring professional, compassionate care right to you. From personal assistance to companionship, we treat every client like family. Because we're family-owned and operated, there's no limit to our dedication. Founded by Shrell Warren and inspired by his mother, Jackie, Jackie's PCS is committed to providing exceptional service with a personal touch. Visit JackiesHomeCarePCS.com.
For the finest selection in menswear and the best customer service around, look no further than Al's Modern Clothing and Shoes, conveniently located in Castleton at 6036 East 82nd Street. At Al's, you'll find the best choice in menswear, from upscale fashion to casual wear, customized suits, shirts, and ties, plus a wide variety of designer shoes and hats. For all this and more, visit us at our website at alsmodernclothing.com.
At Al's, we'll tie you to success.
And that's a promise.
Welcome back, everyone, to At the Table. We're continuing our conversation with Councilman Keith Graves. You dropped a bomb on us on the last show that you were on with us about something that you're doing with your career. You're taking it to another level. You said 7 years, 8 years. It's time to move. 8 is the number of new beginnings, too.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
You're doing the thing. So talk about what made you. You talked a little bit about it on the last show, but let's, for those who are just now watching it for this time, talk a little bit about what that decision process looked like, and what we're gonna do. What we're gonna do about your, what's going on?
I think in with some of the partnerships that I've created around the district, I think we've got someone that is going to be equally fighting for our community. Absolutely. So, but that does mean that I have to get in that seat. And what happens when I get in that seat, Doctor, is we're going to have a true advocate, someone who understands the importance of reaching across the aisle to fight and advocate and create relationships where they may not be currently. It's a Republican-led General Assembly. So our State House and our Senate both fighting uphill battles when we're trying to get policy done. But I think at the root cause of all of this is relationship. And I think that when we figure that out, we're going to be able to bring some of those resources back to our community. And I'll continue to fight for making sure our education favors getting our kids to read at grade level. I chaired the education committee for the Indianapolis City Council for 2 years.
I didn't know that.
And yeah, absolutely. And so one of the things that I did there was really be a true champion for education. We saw numbers at our last recording moving in the right direction, but prior to that, we weren't looking good. So I'm super proud of being part of that whole momentum. Some of the things that we did on the council's education committee put education right back into the forefront of the conversation, as it should have always been. So now we see numbers going in the right direction.
Let me ask you a question, because I can just go down your resume. City councilman, out here being an advocate for the people in the community. Financially, you're helping people get secure finances and all that good stuff. Just there's a plethora of things that you are doing to help people. Why do you care so much?
I'm East Side Indianapolis, and I love the city. I love the East Side of Indianapolis. When I had the opportunity and recognized the opportunity to be in the circles of Reverend Dr. Andrew J. Brown, who has a street named after him.
I never had the pleasure of meeting him, but he's done some remarkable work.
Absolutely. I felt that the baton was passed to me, and I had to do this work. It's challenging at times, but for some reason God has blessed me with tirelessness, and I'm able to just keep going. And really go to meetings and advocate, and sometimes be emotional, sometimes be there for people, and sometimes be angry. But nevertheless, I think I'm always on, and I'm always thinking about those individuals that were at my church, St. John Missionary Baptist Church. That would be where Reverend Charles Williams was ordained. Yeah, so he was in and out, but he was ordained there. But there are so many others that would come through that church because, of course, he marched with Martin Luther King. So it was just a true breeding ground. It was a good place for a teenager to be. At 21, I started my first mentorship program, went back into my old neighborhood, Brightwood, and we mentor people who are really doing well today. I'm blessed to have been a part of their journey. And that was made possible through the church, St. John Missionary Baptist Church. So I've just had it in my heart to be a part of helping our community. The community helped me. They protected me. They let me, be me. And I love it, and I'll continue to pour back in any opportunity I get.
It's something how those of us who were raised in the church, especially community churches, just how, we were taught about the civil rights movement, and then some of the pastors back then, they were really involved in the civil rights movement, a lot of them, because I am the granddaughter of a slave.
Wow.
And a great-granddaughter of a slave. And then my grandparents were cotton pickers, and I said, every time I get tired, I think about my grandma Jenny.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, it's because of you that I am the woman that I am today. She was a stickler for education. She was a stickler for discipline. But she was also a stickler for love. And I think that is what's missing in our communities. That parenting that compassion. And so when I hear you talk, even though you have a very low monotone voice, but you can still hear the passion in your voice for what you do. So I've never got the honor to meet your former pastor, but I've met some people that have come through there, and they have just been, they're just amazing people.
Yeah, you know, when I think about our ancestors, yours, mine, and all of our, in the Black community, sometimes I think about the struggle that they had, just their very daily existence, and how they had to do whatever to make it happen. They had to work and listen to people just clearly and legally say things and do things and prevent them from success. And their only purpose and their only reason for keeping it moving was us today.
Absolutely.
They were thinking about their future generations. And they were thinking, I'm gonna make this money, I'm gonna tolerate this behavior, this mistreatment, but it's because I'm doing this for my family. And then here we are today. We have to keep that in mind. We have to take that baton, and we have to do it for our future. We can't let any future fall off, any generation fall off.
And you know, I'm glad you said that, because that's one of the main reasons that I fight like the way that I do, because I'm like, my grandmother's life is not going to be in vain. I was talking to my auntie today. I'm like, it just would not be in vain. And just period. And my spirit is vexed with what's going on in the world, but my spirit, and I'm also vexed what's going on in our communities. But I'm also hopeful, because I said, there's nothing new under the sun.
Absolutely.
And that there is, this too shall pass. You know, and I'm just so glad that you're in the position that you are in, and that you work the way that you work, and that you're involved in your community. And I just love that about you, Councilman Graves. I just can't express that enough.
Thank you so much. You know, I tell you, our people are strong. Our people are resilient. Our people are winners. We are champions, and we are survivors, and we're thrivers, and we're going to continue to do well under the circumstances. So, you know, I like your response. I like you. This too shall pass. I love that. Absolutely. Because we're not going to find ourselves sitting in a dark corner as a result of what's happening. We're going to find a way and keep it moving.
I like that. It's going to always be a way. I told my son, he was talking about, because now he's a man, and he has to take care of you. Like, you want to get married early, but you married, you got 2 kids, and you're going to have to I said, because I'm not going to always be with you.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Final thoughts. We're going to be wrapping up this show, and it seemed like this hour is just going by so quick. What is the one thing that you want to leave at your legacy? Have you thought? I think about it. You know, the older I get, the more I think about legacy. Like, what is it?
It's funny how that works, right?
Yeah.
The older you get, you start thinking about it. You start thinking about, you know, the fact that we're not going to be here forever, and you know, we start thinking about leaving, what we're going to leave, and you know, one of the things that I appreciate is the love I've gotten from our community. I've worked hard, and I took the vote, every single vote, very seriously, and I wanted to make sure I responded and returned that vote with hard work and effort. You know, I think that you know, the east side of Indy and Indy in its entirety really is filled with people who care, people who pay taxes, people who go to church and work and shop and play in my district, my faith-based community. I love them all. Shout out to all the pastors who've been partnering with me from the east side. Business owners, I know what their strengths are. I know what they do. My goal is to make sure the rest of the state of Indiana knows who these people are and the challenges and their successes, the reasons that we celebrate.
We're wrapping up the show now, but my final question for you in these few moments that we have, what is the one thing you know for sure?
Well, I don't want to be too weird about it, but I love my relationship with God, and I love the fact that I've been saved, and I understand where my future lies there. I rest, my comfort comes from my relationship with God, so I'm certain that everything that's happening is what is supposed to happen in my life.
Oh, gonna make me cry. I'm always crying. I appreciate you saying that.
I really appreciate you. And Dr. Jessica, I really appreciate the opportunity to come and have this conversation with you, your listeners. I really hope that I was able to share some things that will be helpful to individuals out there. If anybody wants to reach me, please feel free to reach me. I'm on all social media platforms. And I'm a member of the Indianapolis City Council, so you can find me there.
You're not hard to find. He ain't hard.
Right there in the community. So yeah, I'm honored to be here.
And I'm honored. Thank you for coming. I mean that. Thank you so much. Today has been truly, I love these kind of conversations because we're out in the community doing the work. And then just to have him take time out of his busy schedule, that means so much to me. Councilman Keith Graves, may God continue to bless you and keep you and shine his favor upon you, and I mean that.
Same to you, Dr. Jessica. Same to you and your family.
Thank you. You have been watching At the Table with Dr. Jessica B. When I come back, you're going to get final thoughts. I'll be right back.
Hi, it's me again, Tamiko with Tamiko & Associates Realty Group with FC Tucker, here to service all of your real estate needs. I would like to take this time to thank each and every last one of you for all of your referrals and your calls that you've given me over the last couple years as a result of my commercials. Keep them coming. I'm very grateful for all of your support. So if you've thought about investing, if you've thought about buying, if you've thought about selling, talk to Tamiko. I'm your girl.
At Deborah's Place, we care for the abused. The battered. The homeless. The fatherless. And those incarcerated. We care for our community.
Thank you so much for coming back and watching At the Table with Dr. Jessica B. We had a very special guest on today, Councilman Keith Graves, and he is doing some amazing work. I really do pray that you look him up and see what is going on in the community. I do want to tell you also that Deborah's Place is a place for second chances as well. My nonprofit that I run, we help people get their records expunged, evictions removed, as well as driver's license reinstated. And we also have access to helping individuals with educational scholarships. I do hope that something was said or done on this show that will make you know that nothing is impossible. Thank you again. Tune in next week, next Saturday, 12:30 p.m. on my Indy, Channel 23. Thank you so much.